Tarisland has officially announced their global launch summer 2024, so it's right around the corner, which is great news for Tarisland. However, recently there's been some news that have released that has put a lot of pressure on Tarisland. A lot of news outlets in China, forums, discourse have been talking about this, but this has nothing to do with Tarisland. It is to do with a different game, which is World of Warcraft. Yes, World of Warcraft has announced a comeback in China already this summer, and that's caused a lot of problems and issues for Tarisland, especially according to the player base, the rumors, the news. And where does that put Tarisland? We're gonna find out. Let's jump right into it. So, as you guys know, World of Warcraft is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, MMORPG globally. Now, this game was out in China for several years. Basically, NetEase was their publisher in China. China has some crazy strict rules, a lot of censorships, so it's really hard to get things going there. But with NetEase, Blizzard was able to publish it, and NetEase have basically been publishing games for Blizzard since 2008. So people were playing World of Warcraft in China, no issue at all. And then January 23rd, 2023, a year ago, Blizzard was shutting down. And the reason for that is they had some disputes, disagreements, probably like, let's be real, everything comes back to money, investment, stuff like that. And because of that, NetEase was like, we are stopping partnership with Blizzard. So no more World of Warcraft. It was like a huge thing where the servers were shutting down, players were really upset about it, of course, because they invested a lot of time into the game, and it was a huge news. And then around this time there was a game that was announced, a trailer that came out, which was Tarisland. And when you looked at Tarisland, you saw a WoW inspired game. So everybody was like, this is the new WoW in China, this is the WoW replacement. There was a lot of talk about that. And with this game shutting down, the way it shut down was that, yes, this all happened. NetEase stopped the partnership with Blizzard, but they also went and destroyed the axe, like an actual axe statue. So there was like, yeah, this is like done. There's no way this is coming back. Even like in Tarisland, they made a meme about this. There's a quest where you can actually destroy the axe, the WoW axe. So overall, it seems like it wasn't coming back. But now, guys, everywhere you can check it on Reuters, you can check it on CNN. Massive news outlets are covering this. World of Warcraft are returning to China, and the dispute is over. They came to an agreement. There's probably like a little information about the agreement on this articles, but the big news is World of Warcraft is back in China, or is coming back to China, which means that this is a big issue for Tarisland, because they were hoping to become the next WoW, most likely. And they will lose player base because of this, obviously, because people will return to World of Warcraft, and especially the players that played it hardcore back in the day, even like players that didn't play it hardcore, just want to see their character back, they would jump into World of Warcraft, the new expansions, all that stuff that they missed out on, and they would play it, they'll have fun with it, they'll gear up a character. So there's going to be a lot of players going back to World of Warcraft, which means, of course, a smaller player number for Tarisland. And there's been a lot of news about this. People are talking about this in the Chinese forums. There's been massive spam in the discords about it. But overall, here is like the reality of the situation, right? Tarisland, even though it is inspired by World of Warcraft, it is nowhere near World of Warcraft. The questions I keep getting every time on my videos on my stream is this better than World of Warcraft? Is this the World of Warcraft killer? A lot of YouTube content creators have wrote the World of Warcraft killer. This game is not the World of Warcraft killer. I played hundreds of hours in this game. The game is good. It's very polished. Did a well job with everything, but it can't compare to World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft is a game that's been out for 20 years. It has incredible amount of content, lots of depth, massive player base. While Tarisland is a brand new game. Releasing. There's minimal level of content. It doesn't have as much depth as World of Warcraft. So if you are gonna jump into this game thinking this is a World of Warcraft killer, you're not going to get that. Tarisland is a very casual friendly game. If you guys don't know, I think you might say somewhere right here, it says, this is back in the day, China has launched a crackdown in recent years on its massive online gaming industry as Beijing seeks to reverse what it seems to be a growing trend of gaming addiction among young people. So Tarisland is a counter to that, because we know MMOs especially are very addictive. You put a lot of time into it, you forget your real life, but that's where Tarisland is different. Tarisland is a very casual, friendly game. They want you to play a couple hours a day if you can. It's not a big deal if you lose a day or two in this game. There's not much to grind in the game. You can easily catch up, keep up with your gear, keep up with most of the stuff. And the raids are super challenging. They're very fun. The PvP is fun, and there's a lot of content that is fun in this game while being free to play friendly, right? And then they have introduced something called seasons in Tarisland, which basically means that every season, so for example, the first season will be season 0, and after the season is done, after 4 months, they introduce season 1, which will last like 3 to 4 months. And then in this season, they release new raids, new content. But the best gear from season 0 basically will become the lowest gear in season 1. So even if you quit, you can always come back to the game and play it casual friendly. So that's why, like, the game itself, Tarisland, is very different from World of Warcraft in many ways, while having similarities with how it looks, the inspiration of it, and of course taking inspiration and introducing a lot of content in the game that people like. It's a good thing for the game, but it's very different overall. So I think it's catering to a whole different player base while also being mobile friendly, right? So you can play it on mobile. But I think Tarisland, you can both play it as a main game, but you can also play it as a secondary game. But again, they will of course lose player base, because the hardcore players in the grounds will go and play Tarisland or play World of Warcraft. Now, we have to also remember, because this is a big thing, Tarisland is not, even though it was announced at the same day, or not the same day, but around the same time as World of Warcraft got canceled in China. This is not a game. They just were like, okay, World of Warcraft got canceled. Let's put a game together in a year and release it as a WoW copy and make World of Warcraft in China. No, this game has been in development. I found actually videos from back from 2021 alpha, early alpha. The game looked absolutely terrible, looked like super mobile game. But this game has been in development and in the works since probably 2020, so 4 years. And back then, if you go 4 years back, the World of Warcraft already existed in China. There was no rumors or talk about World of Warcraft leaving China. So this game was already in development, knowing that World of Warcraft exists, and they knew that they were going to release a game while World of Warcraft exists, right? So at the end of the day, they didn't release the game because World of Warcraft has disappeared. They just released their own mmorpg, just like many other games today exist next to each other, drives competition, but at the same time, though they look alike, they have different player base, and I'm guessing that's what they're hoping. But World of Warcraft leaving was just like really good for them overall, because of that, they have, I think the budget they have and the budget they got a very increased budget for the game, especially with the marketing campaigns, once they found out World of Warcraft got canceled, because they've been doing some crazy marketing for the game, massive marketing campaigns, huge events and galas. I think there was a gala the other day in certain areas in Asia that got like 5 million concurrent viewers, where they introduced Tarisland. They had like a whole ceremony, their costumes, cosplays. That was crazy. It was massive marketing campaigns. They've been doing these marketing campaigns in China. They've been also doing marketing campaigns globally, paying certain streamers to play all the betas. They're paying streamers for every single beta that they're doing, which is crazy. They're doing crazy prize pools in China, where they're giving away millions or hundreds, thousands of dollars in prizes for first raid clears during the betas. So they invested a lot of money. I think the reason they invested this amount of money on the marketing campaign is, of course, has to do with World of Warcraft getting canceled. But I think the game was going to be releasing anyway, right? Now, how will this affect our game, the global launch of the game? Now, as we know, the global launch will be a little bit different from the Chinese launch, especially when it comes to monetization. It's going to be free to play friendly, but they have something. The main thing is they have something called Elf Messenger Bag, which lets you send gold to players. And right now, gold is a little bit important, but not as important as it used to be. But they removed the Elf Messenger Bag and the ability to do that completely in the global launch. And it's going to be a small changes that we will know. But overall, there's not going to be a difference because World of Warcraft already existed globally. It never went anywhere. The only way this can affect the global player base is if the game absolutely bombs in China. Because what's going to happen is if it absolutely bombs after doing all these marketing campaigns, now World of Warcraft coming back, if it somehow bombs and does terrible in China, there is a chance that our game will change because of that. Because right now the game is very free to play friendly. With the new changes they added to the game, it's very free to play friendly. You don't have to spend money in this game. However, that might change if they lose a lot of player base. They will need to recoup money. And how do games recoup money? Is by adding in-app purchases, changing their monetization plan. And that will also, of course, lead to the global version also bombing because they promise a free-to-play experience that they won't get that. So overall, I do think that this is not going to affect the game unless it completely bombs, which is always a chance for. But I do hope, I do hope this game succeeds. Because the reason I want this game to actually succeed is if it does well, it will hopefully show other companies that you can make free-to-play friendly games and they can do good. So that is like my main reason for wanting this game to succeed, is because it will send a good message overall to the gaming industry that you don't always have to be super predatory and monetization, pay to win. You don't always have to do that to actually do good. If you make a good game, you make a solid product, and you do good marketing, and you keep a promise of being not pay to win, people will actually play your game. So that's why I actually hope that we get this game coming out and the game overall will perform well. But overall, again, at the end of the day, World of Warcraft coming back to China, it is, of course, a dent in Tarisland, but I do think overall the people that would play World of Warcraft, were going to play World of Warcraft, would never get the satisfaction from Tarisland because it is not that hardcore of an MMO like World of Warcraft is. But that is my opinion on this matter. I would love to hear you guys' opinion. Will you guys be checking out Tarisland, or will you stick to WoW? I'm just kidding. Okay. Check out Tarisland Summer 2024. Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Check out this video right here, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.